Hello and welcome. We are going to install a package called Mongoose so that we can get MongoDB integrated into our server. So let's do that first. I'm in the after lesson 6, so if you were following along, you could use that as well. We just need to go yarn add Mongoose. There we are. We're now with Mongoose added. I'm going to put it in after cores, const mongoose equals require mongoose. And mongoose is going to be where we put our connection string that we used in our Mongo compass in the last lesson. So if you need to find that connection string, I'll go through that with you again, but let's just get this set up. So without the connection string yet, just do a const db for database, and that's going to equal process.env database. We will call it in our .env. That's where we'll put our connection string. And we're going to have mongoose.connect, and the first thing we handed is the database. Now we just have to do a few options here. They're mostly because some things are deprecated and we get a lot of notifications that things are deprecated. So we're going to use the new URL parser. So use new URL parser will be true. And then we comma through all of these. So the next one will be use create index. That'll be true. And there's just one more here. It's use unified topology. Use unified topology. That's also true. And we won't have any of those errors coming up in our console. So here we are. This cannot connect right now because it doesn't have the database string, but we can get that from MongoDB in our cluster under connect. Say I want to connect to my application, and you're going to see a database string right here. Just copy that. Go into your .env, add database equals, put that string in there. You need to put your password where it says password. The password I'm currently using is demoUser1, and I will change that so you guys don't do anything too funny on my account. And we need a database name. I'm just going to name it auth mongo react. And that'll be the name of the database. So we could save that up and we have that working. We'll go back to our server. I want to start this up, but I want to know that it's working. So we're going to do a .then. And in there, we will just do a quick console log. So this is all asynchronous here. It needs to connect to the database. And then when it's connected, .then, we want it to console log something for us so we know we're connected. So console.log connected to the database. And we'll throw in a bunch of exclamation points so we could find it a little easier. Let's save that and let's see if we're connected to MongoDB by saying yarn start. Server is running on port 5000, connected to the database. So we are connected now to the database that we just entered in. If you had any issues, it's going to be here. Make sure you put your password in and make sure you actually named this here after mongodb.net. Make sure you named the folder here. Those are the two things that could definitely cause issues with starting up your server and connecting to MongoDB. Now, I want to be able to run the server and the front end at the same time, and we're going to do that by installing a few more packages. Just follow along with me here. We're going to install Nodemon, which is going to restart our server every time we save, and we're going to install Concurrently, which is great for us because what Concurrently will do is it will run both our client and our server with one command. So let's yarn add those two. First we'll do Nodemon, and we have the other one which is concurrently, and we can just add those in. With that added in, go to your package.json, and we need to write a few scripts. Just comma, put up double quotes and say scripts. And these scripts will be, there should be 3 of them. I'm going to have a client script, and that will run the client side. So we'll have npm start, and then we'll give it a prefix. So -- prefix gives you the prefix, which will be client. So we want to run npm start in the prefix client. So go into client, then run npm start is what we're saying. The next thing we want to say is server. So this is to run the server. Now we're going to do this with Nodemon server.js. So that's what we've been running anyway. We've been running things off of the server file here. Now the next thing we'll have is a dev. So this is what we'll be using because the dev will run both of them. We're going to need to do a few escape characters so that these quotations work. So we want quotes around the entirety of it, then write concurrently. And then we have to do what we want to run. So the first thing, escape character quote, npm run server. Now, escape character, and quote again. Now, outside of that quote, let's give yourself a space. Escape character, quote one more time. Now, in here is your second command, npm run client. And we need one more quote. And oh, we forgot this escape character there. Perfect. Now what we're saying is concurrently run npm run server and npm run client, which are both of these scripts, so we can run them both at the same time. Now save this and let's see if we got it running by typing in yarn run dev for our dev script. And I see where we failed. There's nothing in this client folder to run these dependencies. So that's a good fail. It's something that might happen to anyone following this video. What I want to do is open up a second terminal just to the side here and just type in cd client. So we're in the client folder, and now all we have to do is yarn because we need to build the client folder dependencies as well. And here they go. So now in our client folder, we have a node modules and everything's being built into it. Great, now let's try this again. Now that all our dependencies in the client side are handled, just yarn run dev, and don't do that in the client side. You want to do that right in the main folder here. Our client is how we left it. Let's take a look here. There seems to be an issue with our back end. Let's see what I did. Currently, oh, needs to be run server like that. It shouldn't be one word. Just save that. And we'll do this one more time. Yarn run dev. And here we are. So we have our front end working with our client side, and we should have server running on port 5000 connected to the database we are in. And now in the next lesson, we're going to go over how to actually do some MongoDB stuff, such as setting up schemas and creating routes and creating some handlers so that when we get the information like email and password, we can see if they are a user or make them a user and start doing the authentication on the back end. Great job on this one, and I'll see you on the next one.